Hi, everybody. My name's Scott Anderson, and welcome to our half and half class. And a lot of you have been attending for a while. You're maybe wondering, wait a minute, I thought Collette started this, and then Scott came in the second half. And you probably already know the reason why we've switched around is Colette's producing, and Andy's on her lap. Andy is exhausted, and a kitten needs to rest. So we're letting Andy get his rest. So I'm starting us off today. So maybe you saw in the chat there was that pop quiz. What's often called the second brain? Well, it's your gut, isn't it? And in a lot of healing traditions, they put a lot of emphasis into the state of your gut. Now, I could spend the whole rest of the hour talking about the gut and the microbiome and postbiotics and prebiotics and how they all influence mental health, physical health, but I'm going to resist that temptation. The idea that we're going to explore today in some length is to work with your breath and your abdominal muscles to massage your abdominal organs. So to kick things off, I'm going to work with some of the Kriyas. And Kriyas are a technique that are found in yoga that are said to help massage the organs. So to begin, step your feet wide apart. Turn both your legs out a bit. And then bend your ankles, your hips, and your knees. And then rest your hands on your knees. So you can probably see that I'm a little bit leaned forward, kind of sticking my butt out. And what we're going to do here next is move your head and your neck, but not the rest of your torso. Exhale, look into your belly. And then inhale, look forward. Exhale, look into your belly. Inhale, look forward. And keep going like that. So what this is not is cat-cow. See how my lower back and my upper back stay still? So as you look forward, bring in more air, fresh air in. And as you look into your belly, more stale air out. Now, the next time you look into your belly, let's pause there a bit. Keep your lungs empty. As you now pull your navel toward your spine. Holding, holding, holding. Relax your belly. Inhale, look forward. Now let's do that again. Exhale, look into your belly. Keep your lungs empty. That's really important here. And then pull your belly in, right up against your spine. Holding, holding, holding. Relax your belly. Inhale, look forward. And let's do that again. Exhale, lungs empty. Pull your whole belly toward your spine without rounding your back. Holding, holding, holding. Relax your belly. Inhale, look forward. Now let's add a step to it. Exhale, look into your belly. Keep your lungs empty. Whole time, keep your lungs empty. Pull your belly in. Now push it out. Pull it in. Push it out. Let's do that one more time. Pull it in. Now relax. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, look into your belly. Keep your lungs empty. Pull your belly in. Push it out. In, out, in, out. Relax. Inhale, look forward. Let's do one more. This is said to massage your organs. Exhale. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Relax. Inhale, looking forward. And then come on up to standing. So those are called Kriyas. Said to help massage the internal organs. So now with your feet comfortably apart, take a moment to feel your feet upon the floor. And then with that sense of groundedness, rootedness, invite awareness to your pelvic crest and lightly lift your pelvic crest up toward the ceiling. Now, as I generated that lift here in my pelvis, I just felt that I stood up taller. Did you feel that too? Well, that's related to the tone in your belly muscle. So lifting pelvic crest is another way of cueing. Lightly engage your belly muscles. So see if you can keep that tone in your belly as you draw this inhale in deeper. Maintaining that tone as you slightly elongate this exhale. A little deeper inhale. A little slower exhale. So now what we're doing is using the diaphragm's movement. That's what helps you breathe, combined with the tone in your belly muscles to continue that theme of massaging your organs. Let's take a few more breaths like that, lifting your pelvic crest to help engage your lower belly, combined with deeper, slower diaphragmatic breathing. All right, so we're using the breathing to help massage the gut. Now let's combine that with some movements that can have the same effect. With the exhale, sweep your arms up. And then with the inhale, fold. Exhale, stretch the crown of your head forward. Inhale, fold. Exhale all the way up. Inhale, arms down. Let's pause here for a moment. So maybe you notice that we're alternating creating more space for the gut and then compressing the gut. And then we're doing that while we continue that slower, deeper breathing. So there's that compounding benefit of massaging your own viscera. Exhale up, create more space for the viscera. Inhale, fold, compressing the viscera. Exhale, head forward, giving a little bit more space for the viscera. Inhale, folding, compressing it. Exhale all the way up. Inhale, arms down. Now the same thing with fewer words. Exhale up. Inhale, fold. Exhale, gorilla. Inhale, fold. Exhale all the way up. Inhale, arms down. So let's continue this thread. Stepping your feet wide apart. Turn your left foot in and then your right foot out. We're going to work for a moment here on mobilizing the key joints of your lower extremities. With the exhale, bend your right knee. With the inhale, straighten. Up and down like that. So maybe you're wondering, what does this have to do with the second brain? With the abdominal viscera? Not a whole lot, in all honesty. If you maintain that tone in your belly with the slower, deeper breathing, then even the seemingly unrelated movement continues to massage your gut. So next time, knee over your arch, let's pause there. Bring your hands into prayer position. Now to help tone the muscles that support healthy feet and arches, take your right heel, lift it up, and then slowly over a count of 5, descend that heel down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Contact. Inhale up. Exhale, turning back toward the front. Second side, turn your right foot in, left foot out. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. So I remember when I was first learning these body-mind practices, the teachers would make these claims that to my scientific mind were pretty out there. So let's say that this idea of massaging your gut, your second brain, maybe sounds kind of peculiar. Well, at minimum, keeping this tone in your belly is going to help your posture. Maintaining this slower, deeper diaphragmatic breathing can help calm your mind. Next time you're in that knee bent position, let's pause there. Bring your hands to prayer position. And this rhythmic, compress the organs, release the organs, compress the organs, release the organs that occurs with the breathing. Probably going to help with regularity. So as you continue to massage your gut, take your left heel up. Then slowly over a count of 5, descend that heel down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Contact. Inhale, come up. Exhale, turn back to the front. And then stepping your feet together. So in a sense, what we're doing is sort of rhythmically squeezing the tube of toothpaste. So at any point, feel free to pause the video. You can pause it. Go do whatever has to be done. And then you can restart with this. Feet on the floor. Lightly lift your pelvic crest. Chest held high, head held high. Diaphragmatic breathing. A little bit slower. Deeper breath. All right, so there's a way that I tend to match movement to breath, and what I'm going to do now is flip it the other way. So it's going to have a slightly different benefit on that visceral massage. Exhale. Then with the inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the crown of your head forward. Exhale, fold. Rise up with the inhale. Exhale, arms down. Again like that. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, gorilla. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, arms down. So now we're going to go upside down. So if you imagine your viscera is fluid in your abdominal cavity. Most of the organs are not pinned in place or tacked in place. They're fluid in there. They're kind of just like they're in a bucket. So going upside down, right side up, upside down, right side up can further help create that massage that at minimum could help keep you regular. So let's go back to the other breathing because it really is more effective in generating that massage. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, fold. Exhale, gorilla. And then with the inhale, step back. Yoga pose, head down dog. Now, a few things happen in head down dog. One is that the lower belly tends to spontaneously draw in. So if you remember those kriyas at the outset, notice how your lower belly naturally tends to move toward your spine. All we have to do here is couple that with a slower, deeper breath. And the abdominal visceral massage occurs spontaneously. And then with the next exhale, step your feet forward, back to gorilla. With the inhale, fold. With the exhale, roll all the way up. Inhale, bring your arms down. All right, so let's continue this theme of putting your belly into all sorts of orientations, relationships to gravity. Step your feet wide apart. Turn your left foot in and then your right foot out. And with the next exhale, bending your knee. Let's pause here for a bit. Lift your pelvic crest to bring tone into your belly muscle. Combine that tone with slower, deeper diaphragmatic breathing. So now let's take whole torso, including neck and head, and tip them a bit. Bring your hand to your knee, other hand to your hip. Few breaths here. And then bring your left arm forward and through. Take a little peek up at the ceiling. And then with the inhale, rise up. Turn back toward the front. Second side, turn your right foot in, then your left foot out. Exhale, bend. Pause here. Tone. Breathing. Tip. Maintaining abdominal tone. Slower, deeper diaphragmatic breathing. Bring your right arm forward and through. Take a little peek up at the ceiling. And then ride the inhale up. Turn back to the front. Then step your feet back together. Lift your pelvic crest. As you do so, careful not to tuck your tail. Remember, tuck the tail is part of the panic response in mammals. You can engage your belly without tucking your tailbone. So let's practice decoupling these two. Pelvic crest lift. Let your tailbone drop out of your skull. So if you imagine a plumb bob, heavy weight at the end of a string, Spine is the string hanging out of your skull. Tailbone is the heavy weight, releasing down. All right, so let's make our way to the floor. We're going to come all the way down to the floor this time. Exhale, arms up. By exhaling with the arms up, you create maximum space in the abdominal cavity. And then by inhaling as you fold, you create the maximum compression in the abdominal cavity. Exhale, gorilla, releasing that compression. Inhale, stepping back. We'll take a few breaths here. And then exhale, coming down into a seated position. So it's actually a name for how breathing moves fluids in your torso, called the respiratory pump. So the way a lot of pumps work is there's pressure, then the release of that pressure, new fluid comes in. Pressure moves that new fluid forward, release of pressure, more fluid comes in. It's exactly what's going on in your belly right now. So you're moving blood around, lymphatic fluid. Press your sitting bones down to lift up through the crown of your head. And you feel how rooting your sitting bones down, your belly ever so slightly engages. It's not like a real dynamic grip or a clench. That just right, healthy amount of tone. Then combine that tone with some slower, deeper breathing to maximize your respiratory pump. And bring your left foot forward. Right foot can either stay same side, or if it's comfortable in your hip, it can come up and over. And what we're going to do is turn toward the bent knee, toward your right. Same tone in your belly. Same diaphragmatic breathing. Massaging your abdominal viscera. And then with the exhale, turn back toward the front, coming back to the starting point, the reset position. And take your right foot forward. Left foot can either stay same side or cross over. And now turning the other direction. So I know a lot of people say, oh, twists, they really massage the abdominal organs. Not as much as you'd think. So please don't try and turn your belly. That's a setup to put too much strain on your SI joint, sacroiliac joint. So the main turn is your head, your neck, shoulders, and your upper chest. And the belly turns a little, almost not at all. And then turning back toward the front. Bring both feet forward. So now what we're going to do is alternate creating more space for your belly and then compressing your belly. So with the exhale, reach your arms up. That's going to create more space for these organs. And then inhale, like you're coming up and over a barrel. Reach forward. And then a few breaths here. Now with the next exhale, roll your spine up. We haven't talked a lot about mobilizing your spine. Here's a chance to do so. And then moving on to your back. So abdominal cavity right now, due to gravity, organs are kind of resting into your back, aren't they? So now let's slosh the organs toward your head. Andy, you gonna help me do that? Yeah, you're a helper. So take your pelvis, tip it back, posterior pelvic tilt, and then lift your pelvis up. That maybe includes a kitten. And then we're gonna hold here for a bit. So especially if you're tipping your pelvis posteriorly, do you feel how there's that abdominal muscle tone? Now, if you combine that with the breathing, massaging your viscera, aren't you? And then come on down. Let's do that one more time. So maybe you can feel the fluidity of your viscera as you posteriorly tip your pelvis, lift your pelvis up, that the organs are now moving into your diaphragm toward your skull. We'll hold here for a few breaths. Use your breathing to move your diaphragm. And then come on down. And coming up to sitting. Onto hands and knees. And from hands and knees to head down dog. And we've talked about a theme here, so it'll take a few moments quietly for you to apply this theme, these themes. And then exhale, gorilla. Inhale, fold. And let's pause here for a few breaths. And then here's a chance to mobilize your spine. Mobilizing your spine from the bottom up to the top. All right. So, handoff time. There's a kitten who is sitting in the director's chair right now, and we're going to trade places. Who's hanging out with a kitten? So, which one do you want this one?
Okay, I think we kept it. We haven't gone this direction before, and Scott and I have this strange thing where I use one AirPod and he uses two. So I'm gonna remind him to keep looking at the audio and make sure it worked. um, so yes, I think in the marriage vows it was love, honor, and never disturb her when there's a kitten in her lap, and Scott takes that very seriously. But actually, we've been talking about flipping for a while now, that sometimes it would be fun to have the other person go first. And I think this was a great one to do that with, because all this juiciness that you were finding in the organs with the breath and really trying to imagine the organs having a massage. That's a really great image when you're doing abdominal work, and also a hard one for people, I think, right? Like if you just in this moment either did or thought about tightening your abdominals, like what would that feel like? And I think it can be a couple different things for people, but for many, many people, when they think about tightening their abdominals, they also hold the breath. And maybe through Pilates, you've learned not to hold the breath, but that would often mean you're tightening your abdominals and your diaphragm at the same time. And the other thing that's, really hard to feel, very indirect, is tightening the psoas at the same time. Maybe tightening the lower back, maybe tightening the pelvic floor, actually. But we'll just go to psoas. The psoas is right in there with the organs. It's up against your spine, and it moves from the front of your spine through to across the front of your pelvis down low at your pubic bone. So it runs on a diagonal, and it just kind of like goes through the organs a little bit. So when you grab the diaphragm, the psoas, and the abdominals all together, there's a way you're kind of just compressing the organs and holding it all there. And it feels like a tightness in the organs too. Now, I can't speak exactly to what's happening there because that's smooth muscle. Your organs are smooth muscle. They're involuntary. But if you kind of like that feeling of bearing down, kind of feels like that, or the feeling of sucking in, both those things feel kind of just like everything stuck together. So how do you do abdominal work and really isolate the abdominals? Let the diaphragm move. Let there be like a stomach organ massage like you were just feeling with Scott. And I think he was taking you through that pretty well, of exhaling to let everything draw in. I don't think he ever said tighten the belly. He might have. But I think more he said, just let your belly come towards your spine and let things move and let things be fluid. Speaking of cats, don't they have good core strength, but never tight bellies, right? So let's see if I can get on the map somehow. So let's just kind of keep going. We're going to go all the way onto your back. And just kind of hang out here on your back, just like you were doing in bridge a moment ago. So let everything settle and just go back into the breathing again of inhaling into your juicy organs. And then exhaling, imagine first the organs sink towards the spine. And then second, the abdominals come on to support that. And then inhale, let it all go. Now, this isn't changing your skeleton at all, right? You're not moving your hips or pushing your back down or changing your ribs. You just imagine, okay, organs fall, relax deep, deep, deep in the body, and then let the abdominals come in to support that tone. Probably feels like less work than if you just tried to like think about tightening your abdominals. But there's some work in there, right? Just a little bit of tone from your pubic bone, through your waist, through your low ribs. And I find this kind of tone that relaxes the organs, just enough work in the deep abdominals. That has some different effects. It lets my neck relax a little more when I do that. Makes me feel like my chest gets a little softer, allows my hips to relax. And sometimes when you tighten your belly, it doesn't go down, it pushes up, right? So that's not it. That's a different thing. Sometimes when you tighten your belly, your hips also grab. That's not it either, right? So we got to figure it out. Like, what is the amount? You can keep exhaling. Just kind of fold the right and the left half of the abdominals in. It's like they kind of fold over each other without tightening the neck or the chest. Now, phase 2 in Pilates is to keep some of that tone on the inhale. So you inhale, you don't totally let your belly go, but it moves a little. And you exhale, it drops down again. So the belly is like an elastic band, right? Elastic band stretches just a little, and then it goes back to where it started. So my inhale, my belly's on, it just stretches a little as I inhale. Exhale, it creates a little deeper tone. And let's add the knee folds to that. Inhale. One leg comes up. Exhale. Lowering back down. Second leg comes up. Inhale. Exhale, it comes back down. It's a multi-layered image, right? Thinking about keeping my bones in place, not moving my skeleton or my pelvis, my lower back. I'm thinking about softness at the organ level, and then engagement at the muscular level. There's a lot of layers, right? Like you had a bunch of laminated things. You could peel one layer off, that would be muscles, you'd see the organs. You peel the next layer off, you'd see the spine, right? They all have a slightly different sensibility to them. One more time, finishing out the set. And then just breathe however you want to breathe, let it all go. Okay, so we're just going to do that same thing with the mini crunch. And the other way I sometimes talk about this is having a dimmer switch to your abdominals as opposed to just an on and an off. And I think when we do that, inhale, let the belly go, light switch goes off. Exhale, turn the belly on, light switch comes on. We're working in that way. When we're doing this, belly keeps working, but it spreads out a little. That's that dimmer switch, right? We just go, okay, it's just a little less. We're just dimming how intensely it works, and then change the dimmer switch a little more to feel the muscles come on, right? So as we go into more breath, we got to keep breathing, and we got to keep some work there, and we have juicy organs to maintain. Exhale, bringing the head up, looking into your belly. Here's your most work in the belly, I think. And then you inhale, it just shifts a little bit. A little different feeling in the belly. Exhale, stay here. Organs just pool down onto your spine so the abdominals can come on a little more. And then lower back down. And then reset the whole thing. Kind of start over. Take a breath in. Exhale. Organs soften, belly comes on, head comes up. You practice a full breath cycle here. Inhale. Exhale. And lower back down. So let's try two more. So go with your breath rhythm. It doesn't have to be exactly what mine is. You get an exhale to lift the head, and then a full inhale, exhale once you're up there. Practicing all this stuff, all this complicated, layered work in the body. And rest as you get to the end of your next one. And then again, just go back to whatever breath your body wants to do. And then however you like, find a way up to sitting. So interestingly, Joe Pilates actually has an exercise on the reformer, or Pilates has an exercise on the reformer called stomach massage. And when people first learn that exercise or hear the name of that exercise, they go, oh, that's going to be nice. I'm excited about this exercise. And then they do it and they're like, this is terrible. This is like not a stomach massage at all. And the reason it's named what it's named, maybe what it should be called is organ massage, right? Like maybe in our terminology, that would be the more specific idea, like abdominal organ massage. Very similar to the Kriya you started with, that the organs draw way back against the spine and they get a massage because your abdominal muscles come way in, right? And sometimes you start to turn your abdominal muscles on and they stop. And then sometimes what happens is we go, well, just turn them on more. But there's another way, right? I could let my organs get a little softer and then the belly actually just steepens and presses a little more, right? So if this is my spine and this is my abdominals and my organs are in here, sometimes it's something deep in the organs that are like not letting the belly go further. So instead of just more tension in the belly, I go softer, 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 and let the belly draw in. And stomach massage is like that. Now we're going to do a mat version of that exercise. And you might also think this is a terrible exercise afterwards, but maybe you'll think it's a great exercise afterwards. I don't know. So we're going to start a little behind your sits bones. You're going to be in that round spine space. Little like rolling like a ball. This stomach massage exercise is very similar to rolling like a ball, I think. So maybe we'll do that afterwards. But just like I was talking about, you are going to be a round spine position, right? So you make more space for those organs, right? To go towards the back of the body. Gravity is helping a little bit too, right? It's a little back and down in the organs. And then hold wherever you need to, right? If you can keep your feet in a little more and hold your knees, that's pretty good. But if that just makes your hips tight, then hold behind your knees. And then practice just what I was talking about, letting the inhale move through the back body a little more. And as you exhale, see if you can imagine the organs drop back, the belly comes on, the organs soften a little more and spread out, the belly comes on. The belly is kneading your organs. Like a kitten needs your belly, right? Let it go on the inhale. Maybe even sit up a little bit. Start the whole thing again. Open the back. Inhale into the back. Exhale, soft organs. Belly comes on to support. Reset it. Sit up. Do whatever you need to do. We're going to do it one more time. Once we get there this time, we're going to practice keeping the belly working on the inhale. Feeling a little of that more nuanced dimmer switch idea. Inhale through the back. Exhale. Deeply engaged belly. Still engaged on the inhale, opening the back. And then letting the belly fold in a little more on the exhale. Now, we're going to keep this position of your spine, and I've moved my hands to the backs of my thighs here because that works a little better now. I'm going to move one leg out at a time. So one leg reaching forward, flex and point, and as you exhale, belly draws way in, knee bends in again. Inhale, reach out, flex and point. Exhale, not in the leg, but deep in the belly, and the leg floats in. And inhale out. Flex and point. Exhale. Inhale, open your back body a little more. Exhale. Let the front body draw in. If you want, you can put your hands on the floor and really, instead of using the hand to help the leg, really just finding it in the belly. One more each side. And then relaxing. So was really like, it was working for me. I don't, maybe it was working for you too. I know that can be a hard one not to just feel in your hips for people sometimes, but also like once you find it, you're like, oh yeah, I do feel like things kind of got massaged through there. It is a stomach massage. I get it. It is a really kind of a nice exercise. So let's see what that's like in rolling like a ball. Like, what if you applied those same principles in rolling like a ball? You could really keep your round shape as you go back and forth. Maybe you don't need so much effort to roll back and forth. So I've got a couple options for rolling like a ball. I know it doesn't work for everybody. If you've got some stuff with your neck, or some people dealing with some osteoporosis may not want to do rolling like a ball the full version. So I'll give you some options. So find your position, hands on your knees or hands a little lower on your shins. That same stomach massage feeling in the spine, but now the feet come off the floor. And then we've got rocking chair. Let's all do rocking chair, which is inhale, tip a little bit back. Exhale, deep, soft organs, belly in, tip back where you started. Here's your not full version, if that works better for you. There's plenty of work here, right? Especially if you're really doing that deep organ massage. If you want to up the stakes a little bit, we go into the full roll back. Inhale. Keep exhaling. Keep letting the organs press back into the back. If you really keep this shape, there's not a lot of effort needed from your legs or your knees. All the effort could be deep in your spine. And not even a lot of effort there, right? Like just find it and maintain your awareness. One more, trying not to kick the legs overhead. And relax, yeah. Okay. It's feeling like pretty drawn in and pretty movable for me. And now I feel like I want to go the other way a little bit and just like let them stretch out the opposite direction. So let's go on to your hands and knees. Now, the tricky thing here, actually just sit for a second, I'm going to chat. The tricky thing here, I think, when we do extension work, back bending work, is that the abdominals are what hold the organs, and the organs are heavy, right? They have weight. And so if I totally let my abdominals relax, the weight of the organs goes with gravity. And then my lower back is like, I always think of this like a grocery bag when you hold from the handles and all that weight pushes down, the handles get a lot of strain, right? But if you take that grocery bag and you hold underneath, when I was a child, we did not have handles on our grocery bags, right? We always had to hold underneath. When you hold underneath those heavy groceries, it's no problem, right? The bag doesn't break, the handles don't break, none of that stuff. So the abdominals, they are your arm coming underneath that grocery bag and supporting all the stuff in it, right? The cans and beans and lettuce and whatever you have, right? Those are your organs right there, right? And that arm is your abdominals. So as we go into extension, again, we need both. We need some abdominal work. We need to let the spine bend. And we need a sense of like juicy organs. They don't get stiff. So my hands are a little forward of my shoulders. My knees are right under my hips. I have just a little feeling like let your belly go. Feel what it's like. You can kind of feel it. If you just let everything go, there's like weight on the abdominals and your back kind of wants to tip and your shoulder blades kind of want to come together, right? It's just gravity. It's just how it goes. So if I get my shoulder blades apart, holding myself up a little bit there, I get my spine a little long, holding myself up a little bit there. I could still let my belly go, right? I could still be in this position. This is what you did in the Kriya, where my belly's totally relaxed and the organs are heavy, even though my spine is in place. So last layer is to feel the belly come on. Imagine the organs, juicy organs spread out, soften. And then from there, we come forward into spinal extension. And just notice your tendency. Is there a moment where your belly wants to let go and everything wants to hang? Or on the other end, is your belly super, super tight? And it means your back is tight and your butt is tight and your everything is on, right? Where's the kind of nuanced balance where the hips get to open, the bones go into their extension, there's a lift in the belly, but not in your inner thighs, not in your butt, not in your neck and shoulders. It's just that lifted, stretched out belly. Back to hands and knees. Play around with it. It's not a right or wrong. There's a range of what might work. Your shape might look really different than mine. My shape might look different every single time I do it. I think it probably does. Just depending on how things feel. And just, even to think about it, we all the time think of this stretching our abdominal muscles. What if you thought of it lengthening your organs? Like your intestines got a little longer, your lungs got a little more space, your stomach got to open up, your liver, there's a little more space in your liver. And then back to center. And one more time. And then all the way back into child's pose. And just let everything release. And roll up to sitting. So let's do a coming up to standing and see what it's like feeling all this standing. So come over onto your a little stretch. And Scott was talking before about the organs being upside down. Like here it is, they're upside down. They're kind of falling into your diaphragm, which is asking your diaphragm to relax a little more, which is asking you to exhale a little more. And then we're going to flip it. We're going to drop the pelvis down and let your organs fall into the bowl of your pelvis. And then they just keep unrolling. Stomach and liver go on the intestines. Lungs go on top of the stomach and liver. Big old brain in your skull goes on top of all that. So what's it like standing, right? You did a little bit standing with Scott, but now we did this abdominal work and this kind of specific toning work. Somebody mentioned in the chat the idea of like tucking your shirt in as a way to tone your belly. And I don't know if that works. Images are so specific. If I think of like how I tuck my shirt in, I kind of do this. That's not really what you want, but that doesn't mean that's how you do it, right? Like you might be a little less histrionic than I am when you tuck your shirt in. It might be useful, might be a good way to think about it. And just notice, right, what the tendency is. When I go into standing, I don't want to be dumping everything out, right? We know that's not so good. I also don't want to be pulling out of my abdominals, right? Other place here. So everything we've just been practicing, somewhere in between, finding the pelvis, finding the feet, soft knees, and just let the organs feel kind of stacked up. We talk about the vertebra being stacked up a lot. What if we stacked the organs? All right, we kind of got the deep, like bladder, reproductive organs. We got some intestines, liver, stomach, Little thin diaphragm, lungs, heart. Forgot about the heart earlier. Throat, brain, right? We could stack our viscera and then just a little bit of help, right? Button your pants. A little bit of that tone through there. I can still inhale, I can still exhale. Don't have to let it all go. Every time I exhale, just get a little more tone in the belly. And then heels together, toes apart. I'm going to play with this in standing footwork, bending your knees, lifting your heels. All this remains true as you straighten your legs and lower your heels. And knees bend, heels lift, a little tone in your belly without lifting your chest, without holding your breath. Bend the knees, lift the heels, stretch, and lower. And then same thing in reverse. Rising up, bend, lower, and straighten. And one more. And finish. There's a practice at UW of saying, I am complete when you finish on your Zoom moment. And now I hope you feel complete as you finish your class here today. I feel pretty complete, like ready to kind of move around a little differently. So yeah, thanks for coming. Hopefully, Scott, you weren't confused when you saw Scott and you thought, wow, Collette looks tall. And those glasses are new. I don't think he wore the glasses, so maybe you didn't mean that. But yeah, we were thinking we might flip it up here and there, let the yoga be first sometimes and the Pilates be second, see how that works. And yeah, and then we get to play a little bit more too. Um, so now I have to figure out how to end it. Scott's good at ending it. I do remember that Scott has a workshop coming up very, very soon at 10:15 called Stay Fit Through Meditation. And that is a free workshop. So if you're interested in that, email info@pilatesonharrison.com and you can get the link to that. And he's going to talk about meditation and physical overlap. I'm going to give a horrible description of his of his workshop, but how meditation and exercise can go together. Is that pretty good? Yeah, that was a good synopsis. I knew there was something like exercise was the word I was missing. Yeah, so he's going to do that on Zoom in about in 15 minutes. And if you're interested in doing that, you can email info@pilatesonharrison. They'll put you on the list. Other than that, happy March. Happy spring, happy more and more people are getting vaccinated, all those things. So I hope you are well and healthy, and I hope you're finding ways to get outside more and feel more like we can possibly start to feel a little more normal. I also really appreciate you coming to this class every week. We want to continue this class, and we really enjoy connecting with people that way. So invite a friend, come back, watch it later, however you want to do it. But thanks for being here, and we'll see you next week.